Now, as a Romanian with poorly combed hair, I have to ask my fellow Americans what is going on. Like, you don't have to live like this, and honestly, the problem is the culture. The way people are thinking is bewildering. It is bizarre for a civilized society to think like this. And the question is, who put these thoughts into people's heads? So, let's look at a case study. This happened in New York City. It happened recently. And it's about an individual who saw this upstanding fine gentleman trying to rob the purse of a lady. So this man whips out his gun and says, "Get the fuck away from her." Right? Like, I want you to imagine the scene, frame by frame, like where EFAP with Mauler and Rags. Now, if I was a criminal and some other citizen pulled a gun on me, I would stop. Because I have this thing called sense of self-preservation. But this gentleman might have succeeded his wisdom saving throw because he didn't stop. He pursued. So, as a consequence, this guy fired a couple of warning shots. Now, the shots didn't hit anyone. It did stop the crime. And, of course, the police came in, slapped the mask of obedience on him, and turned him into a Democrat. But at this point, I didn't decide to make a video. And this is due to the fact that usually when you unload a weapon in public, the police can take you in for questioning. Like, this is normal. Especially when you're not supposed to fire warning shots. It's part of American gun safety. It's like, if you pull the weapon, you either are in a situation where the danger is imminent, and then you have to take out whatever danger is there, or not, you don't pull the weapon. There is no in-between. That is the American school of thought. So because this person violated it, he became a Democrat. Now, with that out of the way, I thought that this is the end of the story, right? And then maybe I'll cover it if he gets charged or not. But the main issue that we're dealing with is the mentality. Like, what does the victim has to say about it? And very rarely does the mainstream media actually cover what the victim has to say. Like, we get to hear what the journalist has to say, what the journalist has to moralize over the situation. But, like, very rarely do you get to hear what the actual victim who was saved from getting mugged has to say. And apparently, well, she was terrified. But she wasn't terrified that she was getting mugged, or the fact that this guy didn't try to stop mugging her when a gun was pulled on him. No, she was terrified because the hero had the gun. And she is terrified in living in a society where civilians can have weapons. This is what she took from this event. This lady has the right to vote, by the way. It's very interesting, right? So like, she is asking, like, why didn't this guy try to stop the crime without having a gun? Like, I'm looking at this individual. I don't think he's Batman. Like, I don't think he can throw a batarang and then do some Naruto jutsu in order to take on this guy. Like, not to mention, like, when you have a hardened criminal which doesn't stop even when you pull a gun on them, I don't think that trying to tackle them is a smart idea. So basically, what this lady is actually advocating for is that she would have been allowed to get mugged. That's literally what I'm getting from this, right? Because she's like, oh, well, why did he stop the crime? Why did he... And I'm like, lady, why didn't you just give him the bag then? Why didn't you just give him the money? You know, like, the difference between a crime and a non-crime is voluntary compliance. Like, if you actually give the money willingly, then it's a donation. Right? Like, if we want to judge, okay, like, if you want to go all the way to the leftist route, maybe you are the problem because, you know, you refuse to give him your belongings. Holy shit, how can you think like this, though? Like, unironically, what I don't understand is if random people have guns, that's bad, right? But, like, let's say that there was a police officer over there. What do police officers have, lady? What are they equipped with? Or let's say that you were a high-ranking politician. Let's say you were Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and someone tried to do this to you in the subway. What do you think your Secret Service would do? What do you think your security detail would do? Oh, so I see. It's only rich people. It's only people in power that get protection, right? Like normal citizens don't. Normal citizens have to wait for the cops, which are already demoralized, and perhaps they shouldn't have weapons either. My God, like this is the actual root of the problem. Right here, like right here is the root of the problem. People thinking this way. Obviously, it's not this lady by herself for saying this, but there are multiple people that think this way, and this is why you have to live like this. Like, I can go on in my town at almost every hour of the night without getting mugged. I'm not saying mugging doesn't exist at all, but what I am saying is that it is very rare. And it's the same thing. It's like, oh, well, human life isn't as important as property. It's like, yeah, we say this when there's like a natural disaster, a burning building, and you're supposed to save people before property. Like, that's when we say this. But when it's about, living in a law-abiding society, I guarantee to you, a society where people think that if they try to mug someone, they risk getting shot, you will have a lot less mugging. You will have an incredibly polite society. Over another society where the criminal thinks, oh, if I get caught, culture is going to defend me. Like, there's going to be people on my side, there's going to be people that are blaming society, there's going to be people that are blaming the police, there's going to be people that are breaking the law. No one is going to blame me. And this whole concept, it's like, well, people are stealing because they have been pushed into a life of poverty. Like, first and foremost, the average American has access to more amenities than most people have on Earth. Like, even if you live in a ghetto, you are probably much better off than people who live in Eastern Europe in rural villages. But even that aside, like sure, like you can have like some criminals that maybe they do crime because they're poor. But I have seen recently people driving expensive cars and getting out of those expensive cars in order to shoplift. I don't think that they're poor. I don't think that it's because they don't have money. When they're having, Apple Watches and iPhones and they drive any type of automobile, yeah, I don't think they're poor. So maybe poverty isn't the issue. Maybe the issue is brazenness. Maybe the issue that as a society, especially in the United States, they do not value law and order as a concept anymore. It is utterly bizarre. It's like, oh, well, why did he have a gun? When? And if you as a member of the FBI should have been happy, I guarantee to you, yeah, cops are bad, because I noticed this as well. Cops are bad, vigilantes are bad, the FBI is good. The FBI does nothing wrong. Like, if this wasn't it, like, stop, FBI! She was like, already moist. Am I wrong, though? No, like, seriously, am I wrong? It is fascinating. I gotta say. I don't understand this line of thinking, man. I genuinely, like, do not. And like, you have no empathy towards others, I guess. Like, getting mugged is not a pleasant experience. Discouraging mugging or dissuading other people from mugging is a good thing. It means that other people don't have to go through what you just lived. Unless you like it. I mean, but again, like, if you like it, why not just give it to him? And then he's not a career criminal. Or do you like to LARP? You like to roleplay? I don't know. It's just... And the way the media treats this, like everyone, like all eyes are on the newly born Democrat, right? Almost no one talks about the criminal. I haven't heard articles discussing why this man stole, how many people did he rob before this. Like no article whatsoever, no conversation about the actual criminal. None. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.